Hello, my friends. I was doing my own thing here. I got home not that long ago. I made myself a nice meal. I ate, um, having my coffee here. And then, I don't know why Star Wars came to my head, but now I do. And so, what I wanted to talk about today is it's time to reclaim your light. Now, as you can see, I'm wearing a black shirt, but I want you to see this shirt a little bit better so you will understand when I start talking and what I mean. Okay? So, you see this? This is an old shirt. They used to make good things back in the day. I don't really know how old this movie is at this point now. I didn't bother to look it up on my phone, but I'm pretty sure it's up there in terms of age now. And the reason why I put this shirt on is because I wanted to talk about you took a good look at the shirt, right? You got the you got the Sith guy here, Darth Maul. And even if you're not a Star Wars person, I'm pretty sure you're familiar with, the Star Wars stuff because how can you not know about it, especially if you're in the United States? So, what the reason why I put this on is this represents basically the state of the everyday person out there at any given time. We have been living this life of darkness within ourselves. We have been carrying all this darkness within ourselves. But you still have that light in there somewhere. That's also a part of you. And you can't get rid of that. As a matter of fact, if you allow that part of yourself to override the dark aspect, and help you take control of your own life, help you guide you in your own life, in your own journey, in your own path, things are going to change in such a manner that it's going to blow your mind in every single way. So that so here's the thing. Forget about forget about doing anything that a lot of people are talking about right now. Before you do anything, okay? Um, Go with the flow. Do this, do that. Just be. Do this, do that. Including myself. I've done videos talking about these things. Okay? But before you get to that development stage of the whole thing, you have to understand that you have to let the light in first. That is the most important part. Period. There is no negotiation here. You can't skip that part. You can't cheat the system. Nothing is going to change for you if you don't allow that to happen. It's very simple, very straightforward. What's really interesting about the whole Star Wars thing is that, people don't understand that George Lucas obviously knew a lot of things about, occult mysteries, um, you know, these esoteric schools that provide you with the real knowledge that has always existed. And then he made this whole, you know, this all of these movies based upon that, with a little sprinkle of some truth about mankind's history and all of that stuff. So when you look at that, the whole thing with the Jedi Order and how they have the light and the dark, and then you have the Siths on one side that are the dark, the ones that chose to go with the dark side of the Force, and then you have the Jedi's who go with the light side of the Force, and that's a metaphor for what really happens on anybody's lives here on Earth. That's one of the most powerful metaphors that I have ever seen. So he created this whole mythos behind it. Um, you know how there are all these like fantasy, stories and things that we have been told throughout the ages, and a lot of this stuff we think that it's all bogus and it's all made up stuff. And I'm here to tell you that a lot of these like myths, historical things that we have been told throughout time, especially the ones that there is nothing written about it, it's just like something that was passed vocally from generation to generation. There's a lot of truth in those things. Some of them are absolutely on point about what they were speaking of. And it's all related to this whole thing of light and dark, and how there are these energies that exist and they fight for control throughout these cyclical periods of our lives here on Earth. And it's fascinating to me because most people don't even realize that. But that's how it works, guys. Okay, so in order for you to be able to progress and do any type of real inner spiritual work within yourself, and to receive knowledge, wisdom, understanding of yourself, for yourself, the number one thing you gotta do first before anything will happen and work and change within yourself is you gotta let the light in. You gotta step out of the dark. Start doing that enough until you start feeling the light within you again. And at that point, then you can start applying all these other tools that are available to all of us, that there are so many people talking about these things right now. That's the process in a nutshell. It's very simple, very straightforward, but you have to let the light in. You see, the difference between light and darkness is that dark cannot overcome the light. ever in any way, shape, or form. Let's say if you have it, if you, the easiest way to explain this as an example, get the most powerful, I don't know, light bulb that exists that anyone ever made, whatever, put it in the room, right? And then seal that room, whatever, and try to make the whole room dark. You won't be able to do that. It doesn't work. But you could go to the most pitch black confines of the universe, anywhere. And if you have a powerful light source, it will just break the darkness in an instant. That is exactly how it works with the soul and the spirit. That's how it works. Once you reclaim your own light and you start applying all these things in your life, all the things that I've talked about in my past videos, and what other people are talking about in their content, whatever, whatever content that it is related to this subject. There's a lot of people talking about these things right now about this stuff. Everyone is, like I said, everyone is gonna have their delivery method. Everyone is gonna, do their own thing. But I try to put it in a way that is super simple to digest. So I try to use these easy to understand examples. And I think it works perfectly fine. So once you reclaim this light and you start embodying it, becoming it, because now you're applying all these other things in conjunction with that, right? And now you're doing all the other stuff, going with the flow, just being yourself. Remain present, living in the moment, living in the now, staying aware. All of these things that, have been spoken about ad nauseum at this point. Learning what it is to self-love, to really truly love yourself. Knowing what it is to always prioritize yourself in your own life. Live your life for yourself first, always. All these things, you start putting it all together and making it so now you're truly starting to embody that. Not only have you reclaimed it, but now you're embodying it. And now you will see everywhere you go, people feel that stuff. Their subconscious feels it. If anyone is in your energy field, close enough to it, they will feel that stuff, like big time. And that's the beauty of the whole thing. That's when you know you are fine. Whatever it is that you're applying into your own life to make this change, yeah, you're fine. If you're seeing these things happen in your personal life, if you're applying these systems and methodology in your life, then it's just gonna work because it does. There is no mystery to it. The key to this self-knowing, self-understanding before anything is you have to reclaim your light. Reclaim it. Become one with it. Live it. Embody it. Feel it within you. Know that that's what you are. That's who you are. That's what you're made of. Before you came down here to this plane of learning, this plane of suffering, grief, and everything good and bad that comes with it, before you came here, by choice, that's the other thing, okay? You chose this. You may not know it. You may not acknowledge that, but you chose this. Just know that. Okay, you chose this crap. And then once you understand how this process works, you will thank yourself for choosing to be here. You will be every day. You're gonna be thankful. You're gonna be grateful about it because you know why you chose to come here, to be here. Because then you understand that all the stuff you've been through is the stuff that made you exactly who you are today. For good or for good or for worse, doesn't matter. That's what molds you. That's what makes you who you are. And it's a simple process, guys. Like I said, there is no deep science. You know, there are many things you can do. You know, you can meditate, you can do so many things. But I've spoken about this before, and some of these things, they don't work that well with certain people for some reason. So exploring these aspects of ourselves is a beautiful thing, because you might figure out a way of doing things your own way that's gonna work for you, and that's all that matters. If you don't want to follow somebody's protocol or way of teaching to the, you know, to every single word, you know, and that's not to say that, you know, what others teach is invalid. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I'm saying is that there are so many pathways to this embodiment of the self and the light that we carry within ourselves, that you can add your own spice to it, and it's gonna work fine. That's the thing that's amazing about all of this stuff, in my opinion. I love it. I love it. Because, you know, some things are not gonna work that well with some people. I don't really know why though, and I don't, doesn't matter to me, in my opinion. As long as you're doing what needs to be done in order for you to remain in this state that I've talked about so many times, you're gonna be totally fine. Because when you reach a certain level where you know you're there, and you've been there every day now, most of the time throughout your day, then you know, okay, now I got this. Now I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. So you're gonna feel. Because it's just like, it's peaceful. It's like a lot of harmony and inner peace, calm, balance. I don't know how to explain it. you know you know. If you're doing this, if you're you know what I'm talking about. And if you're not, start doing it, and then you will know what I'm talking about. And this is really all I wanted to talk about today, guys. So don't forget, if you're new to this and you're curious about this stuff, how do I do this? How do I do that? How do I start manifesting things in my life? How do I start changing my life? How can I how can I how can I, you know, make all my dreams come true? All of this stuff, all you have to do, all you have to do is reclaim your light and then go from there. So get out of the dark, take off this black shirt and put a white one on, and then you're gonna be totally fine. Yeah, that's the message for the day. And with that said, I'm gonna leave this one here. I wish you all a great day. I love you all from the bottom of my heart and the depths of my soul. I wish you knew. And I will catch you on the next one. Later, guys.